Hi, this is Steve Barrett, Editor-in-Chief of PR Week, reporting specially from the Cannes Festival of Creativity. We're here for a PR Week Roundtable with Weber Shandwick on the subject of, is the campaign dead? We're talking about creativity, we're talking about PR, its role in the marketing services mix, and the way the industry is heading, especially in light of the winners of the awards at the PR Lions.
Is the campaign dead? Absolutely not. I'd say the way we talk about the campaign is different. It's not just a 30-second commercial, it's about integrating an idea into different touch points that's relevant and meaningful to consumers.
In thinking about it, and for this panel, the thought that really comes to mind for me is it's like Madonna. It reinvents itself. I think campaign is a matter of also how you use it in lexicon. How are you thinking about a campaign? Does it mean that it has a start and a finish? Does it mean that it is the thematic thread that runs throughout? Does it have various components that are always on versus spikes so that you can generate either coverage or talkability?
How we are essentially evolving our business really reflects client needs. So as we talked about on the panel, there really isn't a situation with clients these days where they're not looking for transformative thinking, both at the tactical or campaign level, as well as just bigger picture strategy around how do they cope with some of the media changes that are happening around digital and social media. So what we are doing more and more these days is helping clients really figure out how do they really present themselves in this very different media environment.
I think clients are putting a lot of demands and pressures on their agencies. The CMO Council did a study recently, and they indicated that only 9% of senior marketers were happy with the transformation taking place in traditional agencies, particularly around digital capability development. So I think clients are putting on the pressure, and I think that is a good signal to agencies. I think you see a pretty interesting distribution of effort and success.
I think a lot of the ideas that we see are strong. It doesn't diminish their effectiveness in driving consumer behavior, effectiveness in meeting our marketing and business objectives. Very, very effective in that sense. But what really stood out last night as winners were those galvanizing ideas that were so brilliant in their simplicity, yet you can also evident in their impact. And when you put those two things together, they just jumped off the screen, and you can tell that they were well deserving of their wins. So I think our PR agencies have to think about an idea not being a collection of activities, but that galvanizing idea.
In terms of the marketplace vernacular for agency services, there's no question that the terminology is becoming a bit outdated, and there's no question that that a lot of these service offerings are morphing. So I'm sure you saw at the awards last night. I mean, you could have taken a direct in a PR in a promo and mixed them all up, and still really would have seen a common thread through all of those. Vernacular, I think, is really in some cases stopping innovation in the business right now. At times it limits opportunities. In other cases it just really puts us and our clients in certain boxes when we're in an environment where you can and really must be very inventive in what you do every day.
I don't think that data is killing creativity. I think data, if anything, is enabling creativity. The big challenge, though, is the translation of data into insight. And I think that's where a lot of marketers and agencies get hung up. And it can feel like data is constraining creativity, but there's a treasure trove of insight living in that data. We just have to liberate that insight from the data.
There's no question too much data isn't good for anybody, but using the right data for the right purposes absolutely will help us understand the consumer and give a better consumer experience. I don't think creativity is actually being hurt by data. I actually think we have more data than we've ever had before. Now we need to look at that data and put meaning to the data.
There definitely is data overload, and it's not that data is going to be making the decisions, it's there to help you inform. But it's also about using your gut and intuition. Data, again, you can follow the ROI out the window, but that's past thinking, and we want to think forward thinking. And it's really about the ideas and how the ideas come to market. If it's a new and breakthrough idea, you don't have any lessons learned from that.
There isn't a week that goes by where we're not getting a brief that looks very different than briefs we used to get 12 and 18 months ago even, where they're looking for the potential of us helping to be their brand steward. I think where there's a bit of a disconnect in the conversation is because the PR agencies aren't necessarily winning the awards, means the PR agencies are losing, and I can say, without a fact, I'm sure you can see it from where you sit too, that there's never been more opportunity in the business. We just haven't necessarily packaged the programs that we're doing, I think, in a way that really is, is putting us on the map in terms of, gold and titanium lions.